Hello, welcome to part 2 of painting this hibiscus, and I think I said that right, hibiscus. Anyway, and removing the masking fluid as well, so we're just going to get straight into it. So this is going to be the second layer as well, so I've just mixed up the same bright red from the Senolia range, and I'm just going to water this petal first, and we're going to use the wet on wet technique, using less water to make up the mix. As you can see here, it's a bit more brighter and a touch more pigment in that as well, so not as watery. And because we've added on a wet layer to start off with, the paint will bloom out a little bit. Not too much. We don't want to cover the highlights that we've already created, but be bold in places. We're going to use exactly the same as part 1. Use the picture just as a guideline, just to get your highlights and your shadows, just to get an idea of where they should go. We're going to do this petal now. If you're here watching part 2 when you're thinking you're in a pickle because you missed part 1, do not worry. I will leave you the link in the description box to part 1. Otherwise, part 2 might not make sense. So why are we adding a second layer? That's because watercolours dry much lighter than when you actually paint them on. Look at this, what I'm doing here. The colour is quite bold, but when it dries, it will be a lot lighter. Feel free to try it yourself in a sketchbook or watercolour paper. Towards the centre of the petal, go a bit bolder, paint a bit bolder. And if you do too much, if you do add on too much, we can always adjust it whilst the paper is still wet. I'm just moving the paint around, following the outline of the petal and creating texture and highlights. I'm just trying to create the shape of the petal, and I think I might have gone a bit too much. Put too much water, too much pigment on this part of the petal. So I'm just trying to correct that now and just make sure I stay within the shape of the petal. I'll bring the picture back up again for you. I'm just going to get a cloth and I'm just going to press that down just to lift that up a bit because I don't want to lose the highlight. Let's work on this petal next. Also, a second layer adds a bit more intensity, a bit more depth as you build it up, and you'll see all this at the end of the picture when I show you the end results. You've got your lines in the petal, you can see the stem or the lines within the petal, and I'm just trying to create some of those just to be similar to the picture. I'm not very good with realism at all, so I am just using the picture just as a guideline. So don't feel like you have to be exact in terms of recreating the picture. It's more about the process and putting your feelings into the painting. Enjoy it. Forget about what's going on in your life or in the world for the moment and just enjoy it. I'm going to add in a touch of that lemon yellow. I'm using exactly the same colours as part 1. I am not moving away into different colours because I don't want it to be a painting about lots of different colours. Keep it simple. Let's just choose 2 or 3 colours. We're going to need to start adding some shadows in places as well. So again, use the same colours. I used Ultramarine Deep to create like a purpley colour and just gently add that on to where you want the shadows to go, or if you want to match the picture roughly where the shadows are shown in the picture. I also wanted to ask you, do you prefer loose painting or do you prefer a painting that is pre-drawn like this, for example, and then painted in and bring it to life through painting that way? Or would you prefer loose flowers, loose painting where there's no drawing involved at all? Just adding some bold touches here, and then we're going to work on this petal next. By the way, if you do want this picture, just this outline, you can go to my Etsy shop and purchase it from there. All the details will be in the description box. Yeah, so as I was saying a bit earlier, let me know in the comments what you'd prefer, loose painting, which is no drawing at all, or would you prefer an outline? Let me know in the comments what is best for you. Whilst you're at it as well, if you did want to drop me a like, I would be greatly appreciative of that as well. If you do want to subscribe, I know you're supposed to, or we're supposed to upload quite frequently and quite regularly. Sometimes I don't know when I'm going to exactly upload. The YouTube algorithm probably doesn't like me because of that, but it can't be helped. So it might be worth just subscribing so that you know when I have uploaded something, but also feel free to come back whenever you're able to. I'm adding those little touches as well. I just love adding these little touches that just bring the painting to life. It just makes the flower pop that bit more. Just don't get carried away, don't do too much. Use your brush to bring out the colours and create those veins in the petals as well. Follow the shape of the petal to try and give it a bit of a 3D effect as well. I'm going to concentrate more on some of those highlights as well now and just create the purpley colour. Don't be afraid to go bold in places as well. As long as you just do a little bit and not do too much, then you'll be fine. I think it's when you add on too much and get really carried away, that's when the picture might not look quite right. I've added in a touch of Payne's Grey just to start making some of those areas, mainly the shadow areas within the picture, just to make them a touch darker. This petal is behind the petal in front, hence it being behind. So I'm going a bit more darker. Again, be bold, be brave. I'm going to go a bit darker to try and capture this petal behind. I'm going to do a close-up for you because I did go in a bit too dark, and also because the petal is still a bit watery, I thought it had dried, to be completely honest. It sort of did go a little bit funny and did bloom a bit too much. So I'm just using the brush to pick it up and to follow a line that I want it to follow. And we're going to leave that as it is for now. We're not going to touch that. I'm just starting to define the petals a bit more and give certain petals a bit more shape so that you can see each petal and give them a bit more definition. Be careful of where you've got the highlights as well. Don't go over the highlights because that is important to the overall picture at the end, just as much as adding on the paint as well. If you do put too much down, just get a little bit of water, rinse your brush, get a bit of water and just blend the colours into the petal. It will all work and it will all make sense at the end when you see it completely dried. If you're a beginner, it will just take some patience, some practice, and you will eventually figure it out. We need to focus on the leaves next as well. So I'm just going to do the final touches in places, and then we're going to use lemon yellow and ultramarine deep, which is the blue colour, to create that green like we did in part 1. Not add as much water in this time and start giving the leaves a bit more definition, a bit more shading in places, and a bit more interest and a bit more 3D as well. And we're just going to do it really simple. Just drop in some little bits of colour and different shades of green like this. Don't cover the whole area with one colour, just drop in different shades of green, drop it in places. You never get a leaf exactly all in one colour, or at least I've not seen a leaf exactly in one colour. So again, just pop in your colours like this. The paper I'm using as well, if I haven't mentioned it in this part, but it's all mentioned in part 1, but this is Bao Hong 100% cotton paper, and it's £140 in the weight of the paper. Because we are using quite a lot of water, it's really important you use a good, decent quality piece of paper so it can handle the amount of water you're putting on. The other really good quality papers are brands like Archer's, Legion paper, and Strathmore. I've not used them, I've heard about them, and there's probably loads of others as well, but I just particularly stick to Bao Hong and Archers. So if you're a beginner, make sure you stick to really good 100% cotton paper. So I'm mixing up a bit more green, and I feel like something is missing, and I think it's a couple more leaves. So I'm just going to freehand them, if you want to call it that, or just do some loose leaves. So no drawing, I'm just adding those in like this. You can follow along in the outline that I've created for you. I have added these in. Don't feel like you have to copy every part of the flower outline and the leaves outline. If you want to have a go at doing I keep calling it freehand, but it's loose leaves or loose painting, feel free to have a go. I do have some other videos on some loose leaf painting as well, if you want to have a look at those as well. I'll leave them in the description box for you. Feel free to take a pause or take a break if you do need to go and grab a drink and then come back to it. Don't keep on at it if you feel like something isn't going your way or you just want to do something differently. Walk away, come back to it. In one of my videos, I talk about my best mistake. Have a look at that and see what you think, and you'll know exactly what I mean. Even though I'm not 100% a beginner, I still get frustrated. Okay, this is the nerve-wracking, the bit you've been waiting for, suspense/thriller. We're going to remove the masking fluid. I'm really nervous. I've just tried it with my finger. I don't like the feel of it. I'm going to try it with a putty rubber and see if that works. So no, that's not working at all. So I'm not going to use that. I'm going to use a normal, good old-fashioned rubber. I'm nervous because I'm conscious about ruining the paper, and I don't want to ruin the paper. If I ruin the paper, it means I ruin the picture as well. But it seems to be going okay. It's creating a lot of mess, hence me using a brush to try and clean it up. It's only the mess from the rubber and the masking fluid, the stickiness that's come off of there. I don't think I've ruined the paper, which I'm obviously very, very happy about. I don't know if I mentioned it in part 2. This is Schminky masking fluid, and I've used it before. I didn't get on great with it. I'm still not sure if I would use this particular masking fluid again. I've seen other artists use masking fluid, and they seem to be able to remove masking fluid much more easily than this. So I don't know if it's just the brand I've used or if it's me. I'm not entirely sure. I have just cut a bit out. I did feel like I was spending a lot of time cleaning up, and I'm just having a feel just to make sure I've definitely done it all, and I'm pretty sure I've got it all now. I feel like I still need to experiment a bit more and show you a bit more of this Schminky masking fluid. So what I thought was, I'm going to put it on in the background, just randomly dropping it into places and seeing what I can do. So there is a layer 3, which is just the final details on the flower, on the hibiscus flower. But I'm also going to paint a background for you as well. And we're just going to use similar colours or the same palette that we've been using throughout this. And that is going to be in the final part, which will be part 3. I've added on the masking fluid quite thick as well, exactly the same as I did in the centre of the flower. Now that I've got the masking fluid removed in the centre, the pollen side, we can paint that now. So all I'm doing is I'm just loosely following the picture. I haven't gone exactly the same. I'm just adding the same bright red that we've been using just in places, and I'm just popping it down like so, and we'll add the yellow on in a second as well. I've been using the same brush throughout as well. I've been using the Escoda size 8 brush. I have actually switched to an Escoda smaller brush, Escoda Kronos brush, and I've switched to a slightly smaller one just to get into the centre. If you haven't got the Escoda brushes, use a brush that you feel comfortable to use. Take your time with it. It's the centre of the flower. It's a bit more trickier because it is smaller, but take your time with it. I'm going to use a bit more of this red to fill out where the highlight is towards the centre of the petal. We left the masking fluid on this bit just to keep where the sun has highlighted on there. I hope that makes sense. I hope you can see what it is that I'm trying to do. And just again, do it really carefully. Use a smaller brush for this bit as well. Really careful. We've got the picture there if you need it, so you can see the bit that I am painting sort of matches the picture. Like I've said throughout, when we know we're not going to be the same as the picture. It's looking really good. I hope your picture is looking really good as well. We're getting towards the end of the second layer, and I hope you will join me in the final layer where I will show you the background and we'll just do the final little tips on the flower petals as well. See you soon. Take care. Bye.